bit of silence.
Oh.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
Wait a...
Stroker Ace intros on Turn5.Live.
right?
Welcome, friends. How are you tonight?
Love it.
Welcome to the, I don't know, edition of
It's like the
Turn5.Live.
13th live version that we've done.
Well,
Beta 3.2.
But some of those we didn't tape because we screwed up,
Right.
didn't start the thing or something.
I don't know. We almost made it on time today.
You know, not only do I think about Burt Reynolds, but boy, do I think about Lonnie Anderson.
Right.
Oh,
that scene.
Those were some
right.
world-class...
When did Stroker Race come out?
I don't know.
83? 84?
I think it was earlier than that.
Because that was like the first pair of tits I've ever seen right there.
First bear tits?
Parrot tits. Like you're in a movie
Parrot
theater.
tits.
And
I
you
can't hear
see parakeet.
Parrots?
Yeah.
Polly Water Cracker tits.
Right.
What do you say?
Yeah, like Lonnie Anderson.
Oh,
in that scene.
She had a beautiful set of tatas.
Oh, what a rack. Jesus, I
But
would
she
drive
was-
harder than before for that.
Well, she was... that's all you got. But she was on WKRP in Cincinnati with
Right?
Les
That's right.
Nessman and
Because
the,
I love it.
the Flying Turkeys and all that.
1983.
I would have.
1983.
93. Yep, that was literally.
See?
That was
In
right
my-
in my teenage
That,
years.
that broke me at that point.
Hey,
It started it all.
We want to welcome everybody tonight to Turn5.Live.
Yep.
My name's Todd Labronte. This is DJ Everett over here. DJ?
Please call me DJ.
DJ Everett over here, the
DJ
voice
Everett.
of several different racing associations over here, manning the controls and letting us use his grandmother's basement, Mr. Donovan Johns.
The pilot of Tucker as well. He's the pilot.
Pilot of Tucker.
Yeah, the Tucker.
Tucker sprained an ankle. We got to fix that.
Yeah, we didn't have enough oil on the track, so Tucker helped us out, put a little more down last night.
Wanted to improve the Royal Purple Modified show.
It did, I think. I think it really added to my frustration levels. Lots of love in this room.
Right?
I don't know where it is, but it's in here somewhere.
It's certainly so. Do we? Oh no, we didn't. That light's blocked over there.
Hey,
Never mind.
we want you guys to participate tonight. If you'll notice when you're watching here on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, you'll see that there's a chat section on the bottom that you can chat and ask questions and do some things with us.
Yep.
Interact with us. We're going to have some. I'm hoping that a lot of the Royal Purple Modified Series guys are watching tonight because I'm going to announce there's going to be a rule change.
Yep.
Coming tonight on how we do our racing. So we're going to do that in the second half of the show after our interview tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a change for the best. I've been thinking about it all year, and last night just capped it off for me. And these guys don't even know what I'm talking about.
Not a clue.
No, it's a surprise.
Because they wouldn't remember if I told them anyway.
Whatever.
Well, I wasn't in the. What?
Whatever.
Tonight's dinner was provided by Donovan
Right.
and Kim, his
Yeah.
lovely, better girlfriend.
Right.
And
Better-
we
better.
had enchiladas.
Much better.
We had enchiladas.
Enchiladas.
Yeah, he
It was
stepped
good.
up. Yeah,
It was good,
And
thank
Kim's
you.
actually a really cool lady. I don't know
She
what
is.
that's season this dude, but she's really neat.
I've never seen this place so immaculate
Good.
before.
Right.
This is Grandma's house. Don't forget.
Yeah.
I know.
We're in the basement.
Grandma
I don't
must
know
love
why
her
we
to
started
death.
that.
I don't know either.
We are.
That was a reference to Wayne's World or something. wasn't it?
I believe when we started, it was a Wayne's World type setup.
You guys up there just keep the illusion we're in Donovan's grandmother's basement.
Right.
We are.
Waiting on the meatloaf.
What we're sticking to.
Sticking grandma? What are you doing?
Do not stick it to my grandma, you
Again.
horny old man.
Yeah, even though she begs for it, she keeps an eye out for you.
She keeps the teeth out.
Well, any port in the storm. So, it's DJ. So anyway, great weekend of racing. Let's go back to racing.
Right,
Great
we did
weekend
some
of
racing. There's
We
been
had
racing happening. It's weird.
We had racing all over the place.
Right?
Yes.
Sam Newcomer, no, I'm not paying my race purses in beer anymore. But Sam, you can drink all my beer. So yeah.
My beer.
Wow.
Yeah, Sam can drink all my beer. I'm good with that.
Damn.
But no, we're gonna have a little bit of a change. Just something I need to do. But we'll talk about that in the second half of the season, or second half of the show. Fuck.
One race left to go.
So this weekend we had a Royal Purple Modified Series race in Twin Falls, which all three of us were at. We had Friday night. DJ was the voice of Black Canyon Speedway
For the first 3 heat races.
Yeah, we had 2 rounds of heat races. The track got really rough, and Brian Love had to make a call, and so he decided
it's a hard call.
He decided to postpone everything until Saturday night, which I was with you guys instead. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks.
Having a lot more fun.
yeah.
Well, it seemed like you're having fun.
Oh, I was
you had
having
a lot to do while we were oil down.
I had a blast last night with Nate. It was fun.
Yeah. Nate Graves.
You wrestled last night with Nate? I can't hear
I had
you.
a blast.
Oh, a blast. Okay.
He wants me to wrestle with Nate, I guess. I don't know. Jeez.
I'll take Jessica.
Hello.
Hey, you know she's here baking us dinner.
That's Kim.
Let's Kim.
Oh, well, I'm sure Nate is also listening. And probably Jessica. So there you go.
Levi's here. Levi.
Levi's in the house?
Yeah,
Nice,
Levi.
good.
Levi's here. Thank you, Levi, for letting me hang out
The
with you guys
best
last night.
mustache of anybody that we hang with.
Yeah.
God, had a great
Cool
stash.
guy.
I got to make him take the Lion Tamer and make an actual proper beer mustache wax for Levi. He's got the handlebars. Got
Oh, name it after him and stuff, and make it his brand. And if make it proprietary.
maybe a Lion Tamer
Butters-
Levi stash.
The stash butter, because he's Butters. That's his last name.
But no, he needs the hold.
Oh,
You gotta roll that up. That's a stash
we're not even
wax.
talking racing anymore. Let's just not. It's probably better if we don't. To be honest.
You can make it a non-racing show.
So what happened to Black Canyon? How many
Yes.
carts? What did it look like? Friday night, since that was the earliest.
well, they had about 40 carts. Beginner box stocks. The Predators came out to play as well. 250Fs, Open 500s.
Both Serena and Venus, sir.
I will say this.
That's an inside joke. The Predator sisters.
Micro 600s. Caleb Johnson had a football game to go to, so his dad, Brandon, took over the
Really?
BJ.
the Idaho Outlaw.
Nice.
Took over the controls of his
Idaho
Micro
Beef
600.
Packers. Idaho Llama Ranch, or whatever the hell it used to be sponsored by.
Yeah.
Something different.
So no, they ran 2 rounds of heat races, and then the track got really. It was a motocross track at the end of the second round of
that
races.
bad.
So and so they had to call the night, unfortunately.
That
But,
sucks for the racers and the fans alike.
Yep. So they ran Saturday night. Don't know what happened there, because
There's no results.
I graced you with my presence Saturday night. There's no results yet.
Well, hopefully there will be, so we can find
Yeah.
out what happened for the kids and everybody out there having fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then Meridian ran.
Meridian.
Meridian ran. We also have some other stuff to talk about too, but if you want to.
I was thinking we'd do Meridian, then RMR, then we talk about our stuff. Because if it went
Oh,
into the
did you want
next
to talk about
half
anything?
hour.
Did you want to talk about anything national at all or no?
Oh shit, yeah.
Oh.
What format we do?
I don't know.
You sent a spreadsheet out.
My whiteboard is over there somewhere. We moved it.
We actually have a spreadsheet on this.
I made a
And I don't
spreadsheet.
read the fucking spreadsheet, so it's my
Broke it down by every 2.5 minutes per show.
What?
I know. I do that kind of thing.
And then I blow
Kind
it.
of evil. I like it. Anyway, so also we do have sponsors. We normally
Yeah,
cover
yes.
about this time.
Yes, that's what it's-
FVP Parts.
Yep. FPP.
Absolutely.
Volt Vapes.
Volt Vapes.
AC to Z. Mechanical. Marc Newman.
Marc Newman with a great run
Newman.
last night.
Oh,
too.
excellent run.
Yeah,
last
we'll
night.
do lots of plugs. Lion Tamer Beard Care. We
Lion
talked
Tamer.
about them earlier. LionTamerBeardCare.com.
And to get your lips as soft as Donovan's lips.
Sharmaine.
Yeah.
Sharmaine.
Donovan's got some soft lips. There you go.
There's your Butters lube.
But
There's your Butters lube.
So Indianapolis.
windy.
Just a soggy weekend there.
Yeah.
Yesterday and
They
today.
had a great midget race on Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, right?
Wednesday and Thursday. We'll get to that in a second, but with the Cup and Xfinity, they're running out till tomorrow. Xfinity's going to be running first tomorrow, and then the Cup will be running after that. Hope I got that right. Anyway,
So they're probably like at 10 o'clock in the morning.
10
or
o'clock and then 2 p.m. That's what they're
All right.
scheduled Eastern Standard Time.
So if they can do that on a Monday, why can't they do that on a Saturday?
I don't know. It'd be great to watch. Though.
Right?
I mean, I'm still thinking
Yeah.
they should have heat races and qualifiers and everything.
Fuck yeah.
Cup races. Just make it funner. They got to change something up. I don't like these stupid fucking segments. Excuse my language. Sam?
Right.
Yeah, they're retarded fucking segments.
Where?
Yeah.
Did you get it?
I got it.
So that's NASCAR. Postponed until tomorrow. F1, again, they have the weekend off. They're going to be running a night race next Sunday in Singapore.
I thought F1 was like taboo to talk about on the show. Have
Right?
they released our shows yet?
We don't do the fuck ones.
Those of you that don't know, F1 held us back from having our shows broadcast.
Well, yeah,
because
they
we showed
blocked 2 of our
highlights.
shows.
They blocked them. You
Blocked
can't go back and watch the archives.
You
now.
got 30 days to get them released. They're in broadcast prison.
Yeah. Or hell, whatever you want to call it.
Night race Singapore. Night racing.
So they can put headlights on the cars
Night,
then?
night racing on Singapore with
F1.
the halo. They're
F1.
gonna do what like Patrick Gold and like
Last time I was in
87
Singapore
car.
and it was night.
There's 86 and we're gonna have neon lights and LEDs on the car. That'd be cool. Where's my jug? Where's that growler? Hey,
I want to.
Hey, talk about that.
Emmett Jug Band Christmas. When we get to that point, let's cover the rest of the regional
I
national.
want to talk about IndyCar really quick.
Indy.
Their finale is next Sunday at Sonoma. Dixon has a 29-point lead over Rossi, double points. IndyCar, other IndyCar news. Next year, they schedule a race at Circuit of the Americas in
Right,
Austin.
Coda.
Coda, baby. Austin, Texas.
Coda.
So here's the interesting thing about it. It hasn't been done since 2006 when IndyCars and Formula One ran at the same track. They ran at Montreal back in 2006. I want to see the comparison again of 2019 between the F1 car and the Formula One car.
Formula One kicks her ass.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, F1.
2006 up in Montreal, that same year, Bourdais sat on the pole for the IndyCar race with 1 minute and 20 seconds. Alonso sat on the pole with the F1 car 1 minute and 14. Six second gap.
jeez.
Yeah.
That's
back.
crazy.
Yeah.
I've been to the Coda track.
Have you?
And, yeah. Well, I had all that time in Texas when I was traveling.
That's right, yeah.
And, you got stuff to do. And you just drive by
Yeah.
it, right?
Well, you got to, if
It's
you're in
just
the area.
outside of Austin, maybe
Yeah.
15 minutes. And it's on the side of a hill. It's kind of weird. It's on those rolling hills they have
Mm-hmm.
in central Texas, like the hill country. And it's on the side of a hill, kind of. And there's, like, farmland and residences and acreages and all this, the poor part of town. And all of a sudden, there's this freaking gorgeous F1 track.
Top of the line, number one in everything.
Yeah.
One of the most complex, difficult race tracks to freaking
Yeah.
manage.
Yeah.
The whole front chute, the main straight, is uphill. And then you go into a tight little lefty.
Left-hander.
And I didn't get, of course, to go to the track and go in. They were all locked up and closed up, but I drove around all the access roads I could, and it was like, oh my God.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Horsepower hill, they call that. You got to make a lot of power to get up that hill.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. Both series again at the same track in 2019. Other IndyCar news: Fernando Alonso. We mentioned about a month ago he's leaving F1 at the end of the year. Tested an IndyCar this past week at Barber Motorsports Park. So maybe he might join IndyCars
I'm
next
sure
year.
he'll probably be with Andretti or somebody.
But here's the thing: he's going for that Triple Crown. He has won Monaco. He's won the 24-hour Le Mans. He's yet to win the Indy 500. If he does that, he'll be the second driver since Graham Hill to win the Triple Crown in motorsports.
Graham Hill. Yep,
So-
Andretti tried like hell, didn't he? He never got the 24-hour Le Mans.
No, it's only
Or he
got
missed
24.
Monaco. He missed one of those, but there was one he didn't make. I can't remember which one. He did win Indy.
yeah, won once, 1969. But other than that, he finished second or whatever.
Yeah.
World of Outlaws. Rico won last night. The Gold Cup at Chico.
Rico.
won the gold- He bested the best of the Outlaws
In his
last
home
night.
track.
Yeah, Gold Cup, 15 grand to win last night at Chico, and he won it. So
Yep.
congratulations to him.
Yeah, good, man. Rico's fun
Yeah.
to watch, isn't he? He
Awesome.
drives the crap out of
Yeah.
his race car.
Yep. And you were talking about USAC, the midget race last Wednesday and Thursday. 118 entries, 15,000 to win. Brady Bacon, what a
Brady
race
Bacon.
between him and Kevin Thomas
In
Jr.
traffic the whole second half of the race, it seemed.
Brady Bacon, Kevin Thomas Jr., and Chad Boat, those three right there were going at
Yeah,
it.
Boat, he ended up beating Boat across the
Yeah.
line, didn't he? And Boat
Yeah.
was doing really well in traffic.
Yeah.
It seemed like he could run the top or the bottom.
Yeah.
And Bacon had to make him basically scare him, the traffic guys, into backing off. But
Yeah.
that was the Brian Clausen 39, the BC 39. That's one for I want to go see now. If you could
Oh, yeah.
imagine showing up
That's
in
a
Indy
great
on
midget track.
Tuesday, getting
Yeah.
used to everything, going out Wednesday and Thursday and watching the dirt. Friday and Saturday nights, you're going to be at Indianapolis Raceway Park with the Silver Crown cars and everything goes on there. And, of course, the Brickyard.
Yeah.
You're not missing that. All that stuff. I mean, Indianapolis Raceway Park is probably 6 miles, 7 miles from Indy.
Claremont, Indiana. Right?
What's that?
Claremont, Indiana, I believe.
Yeah,
it
it's
is,
just it's on the
Yeah.
same street. You just keep going out.
Yeah.
You go over the freeway, and it's on the left out there a bit, and it's beautiful out there. And I can imagine they do get a lot of storms this time of year. Of course, they're getting the remnants of the hurricane that came through the Gulf. And, man.
I showed a video clip of I shared it on my wall from Wednesday night's action, and they were almost 5 wide at one time
Oh, yeah.
during that.
Jesus.
Yes, I would show it here, but can't do that right now. So, but
Oh, I can get it. I have the power.
They're gonna ban our show anyway, right?
Probably.
Probably.
but
Maker's Mark is the drink of
yeah.
choice tonight, by the way.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm still hitting the Sessions Lager.
I'm about due for that.
I was reminded Friday night at Black Canyon there was one main event that was ran. It was the beginner box stock
Yep.
class, and the Christopher Barrow won that one.
Nice.
And the rest of the main events were scratched that night. So, thank you.
Yeah, they run
Thank you for the reminder.
the Pee Wee kids early.
Yeah, what they do is when it comes to main event time, they run the beginner box stock class main event, and then they
Take a break.
take an intermission, and then run the rest of them. So
That way the kids can be packed up.
Yeah.
And
Christopher McKean has been there. He was there this past weekend as well as last month as well. So the McKean family comes out to Black Canyon. and
yeah,
supports.
they made the haul out to,
Yeah, it was good to see
Emmett.
Yeah, it was good to see Ashley Friday night out there at Black Canyon.
We need to see about getting Devils County to do something out there for their dirt races.
Maybe
be
do
kinda
a
fun.
concert after the race.
Yeah. Or during any of their incredibly long intermissions.
I don't know about that.
They
Never
can,
been there.
They can set up and do a whole set before they get back to growing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Same as Twin.
Yeah. So there you have it.
There it is.
There you go.
There we go. So that's what happened on the national scene.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. You ready to
So-
talk about the kegerator?
Yeah. Now
All right. This story about the kegerator. This is important
let's
stuff.
bring it
here.
in.
Okay. The kegerator was
The original Kegerator. Kegerator
Donovan's
1.0.
idea. Yeah, 1.0 was Donovan's idea, and him and his brother Kyle. Kyle lived here for the summer, mooching off D.
All right.
So Kyle's a pretty good dude, but he's a kind of a mooch, and he bought some parts and bought a keg and bought a fridge, and Dono helped him out, and they built the
Yeah.
thing. And we had a kegerator over here in the corner, which was awesome.
Right there.
And we had stuff like Fat Tire. What did we have?
No,
in there?
we had not Stella, Shiner. We had Shiner in there for
Shiner
a while.
bought from, speaking of
Yep.
Austin, Texas, right
Right.
near there. Absolutely.
Out of Texas, because that's where Kyle's living at down there in Corpus. So Shiner's the thing down there. Then we had in something else. I forgot what it was. Then we got into Mac and Jack.
Mac and Jack.
Mac and
So everything was
Jack.
pretty good here at
Right.
the basement, right? So Kyle decides he's moving back to
Back to Corpus.
Corpus Christi, which he's actually on the island down there. I
Yeah.
don't know what. But he moved
South
back
Shore.
to South Padre.
South Padre.
Island.
There it is.
So he took the kegerator parts.
He couldn't fit the refrigerator into his truck, so he gutted it.
I got to put out there. You guys comment on the comment section. Is that a douche move?
He already liked the post for the show, so I know he's watching.
Oh, I know he's watching, and I
Yeah.
love Kyle, but that was a dick move, bro.
Dude, you took the guts to the kegerator.
And you know, if you need that $100 real bad, come see Uncle Dono or Uncle Todd, and we'll help you out 50 a piece and buy the fucking kegerator. So anyway, Dono goes, "I miss my kegerator." We're talking about it one night. So
So we're shopping for bits and pieces.
yeah, we're looking to see what parts we could do to fix our fridge,
Right.
And we came across kegerator 2.0.
Yeah. Craigslist kegerator 2.0. And this bitch is on casters. This thing will roll everywhere.
I know.
It's awesome.
It's heavy. It's a heavy bitch, though.
Right? It's big. It's heavy.
This is like a real kegerator.
Right. So yeah, we got the tap on top.
Move out of the way here.
We got the gentleman we bought it from. It's actually got the trays, all the goodies. I just plugged it in today, so it's warming cooling off. So tomorrow we will go get.
colder than my old lady.
Here's what we need. First question of the day.
There you go.
What keg are we getting in the kegerator? You guys make the call.
What brand?
What are
flavor?
we gonna go? We're gonna go
If
down to
somebody
Hayden.
says Coors Light, I'm going to
Fuck
immediately
you.
eliminate you from the fucking show.
You're blocked
I know it.
everywhere.
You know what they say about Coors Light? It's like having sex on a boat. It's fucking near water.
Do you remember the Bud Light commercial from a few years ago where the guy's walking in the street, it starts raining, and he looks up and he's got some raindrops falling in his mouth. He's like, "It's beer! It's beer!"
Yes. No, it's got you got when you're drinking beer, you got to know you're drinking something wrong.
Right?
Yes.
So anyway, anything from Hayden, because that's where I get my deposits from and everything else. So you guys let us know. Put up in the message board. What do you guys want? Right here on the YouTube, on Facebook.
Well, it's not going to be PBR either. We got a Pabst Blue Ribbon call from Will.
Hey, if I'm buying cheap, I'm buying Pabst.
Yeah, whatever.
It's right there on the bottle. It's already got a blue ribbon. It's one.
It's its own contest.
In 1896. Recipe hasn't changed since then. Obviously, it's that good.
Yeah, Jeremy, you know, the fact that you drink Coors Light shows.
Right.
It'll stunt your growth.
I swung by Durbin's pit last night in the 88. And he's like, "Hey, you want a beer?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to have a beer." And they pull out a couple of tall boy 88 Coors Lights. I'm like, "Oh,
where's
that'll
the beer?
That'll do."
I said beer, not a water.
Thank you for the free silver can. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, they're shiny and stuff, I guess.
It's
They
cold.
marketed the hell out of that. You know why they do that? Because
Why?
it's cheaper to make Coors Light than it is any other beer. It's
Is
cheap. Yeah, it's very
Colorado
inexpensive to make
Rockies,
Coors. Well, it's half water.
I didn't know that.
More than half.
It's very cheap.
With
to
like
make.
1 point
I've
something
been to
percent
Golden, Colorado.
alcohol.
Well, I don't even know why they drink that stuff in Utah. That is water down there. I mean, it's like a third of a percent or something. You could drink the whole keg and I'd get you.
Silver bullet. All you're doing is peeing the whole time.
Yeah, silver blah. That's about all.
Silver bladder.
So anyway.
yeah.
Is this a racing podcast?
I have no idea.
It is.
Hold on, I'm gonna go to Facebook real quick.
That's my belly.
My belly.
That's my belly.
So everyone go to Turn5. Excuse me, our Facebook page, Turn5.Live. I'm gonna post up a
poll?
what do you call it? Poll. A poll.
He's going to do a poll on what we should get.
I'm gonna post up my poll.
Are you gonna do a pole
Well,
dance?
get a magnifying glass. You know they can enlarge those things like 400%. Those pictures.
Everyone, zoom in. Control Z.
Jeremy says the Fat Boys just went up in price. Well, so did the entry fee. That's news, yeah. Redbone pays double. That's the news. Donovan's making something on the Facebook, so if you guys want to go to the Facebook website for Turn5.Live, we'll actually run the poll through when we decide to buy the keg, which will probably be Friday next week, because that's when I'm back in town.
When do you leave for Europe?
2 weeks.
2
2 weeks from Wednesday, so I got to do two more shows.
2 more shows.
What are you guys going to do when it's just Dono and it's just Donovan and DJ here?
Yeah,
It's going to be
buddy.
wonderful. I imagine they're going to probably bring in a surprise guest.
I've got some ideas already.
I got something lined up for the show.
Now
got
you
some
bring in
ideas.
what I'm thinking you're bringing in. I from Europe, I will shoot you.
Sheba's back. Sheba's back.
No, I thought you were going to do something else.
Oh, I might do that too.
No, you won't.
was
Yeah,
it?
you
What was
probably will. I don't know.
John Martinez watching from Texas.
Johnny Martinez. That must be
Yeah.
one of Kyle's guys. Hey, we drank some Shinerbach for you here, Johnny.
Oh, Shiner.
Yep. I'm thinking about going to Lukenbach anytime now. Going to the hill country. Ooh. Waylon and Willie and the boys. Anyway, we also had other racing going on,
Yeah, so
which is going to lead, as soon as he's done with the poll question, we're going to fire up our guest here and get to talking
Yeah.
about the cool stuff that happened.
Also, if anybody wants to sponsor some
the show.
beer.
Sponsor some beer.
Sponsor some beer.
As long as it's not Utah beer, you can buy it here. But
Right, I gotta buy it from Hayden.
It's got to be like 8%.
Hayden Beverage.
Well, they can have kegs in other states.
Well, yeah, but I have to pick it up from Hayden Beverage.
Yeah,
So
I hate beverage. Is that the only place that has kegs in Idaho?
now there's like one other place. Well, not in Idaho, but in the Treasure Valley.
Yeah.
Hayden and then some other. It's all the small brand beer.
Okay. So
awesome.
why don't we go
Is
ahead
it
and bring
good?
our guest on?
It's pretty good.
Is beer pretty good? I love beer.
No, never mind.
All right, so we have a guest.
Got a guess.
It's so early.
It's
Did you
5
send
minutes
me
early,
the,
but we were kind of out of stuff to talk about on the national scene because NASCAR rained out.
Right.
The World of
Oh,
Outlaws.
did it? I wasn't paying attention. Sorry, what was that?
Well, nobody was, evidently. But, still, we got to talk about this. We talked
Hit it.
about this on the way down. While you're doing that, I'm going to talk about this with DJ real quick.
Do it.
Yeah.
You know, they moved the Brickyard to the day after Labor Day this time, right? Which pisses me off because I always like the Brickyard. It's one of my favorite races to watch, even though they're not side by side and they're talking about restrictor plates and all that horse shit for the Brickyard, right? I don't care. I like it the way it was. I like the races the way they were. They were a little bit of a strategy and so forth. But they put it head to head with the opening day of NFL, which was today, the National Football League. Rest in peace,
What's that?
The Seahawks lost. That's not good.
Like continuous.
But at least the Niners lost and the Cowboys lost. That was pretty good.
Go Browns!
Browns tied. They did not lose today,
Right?
which is amazing.
Yeah.
They had a shot to win it, and they fucking
For the
chunked
first time in 16 games, they did not lose.
The Browns are the best three-quarter team in the NFL.
it. No, they're not. They're not that good. But they got a lot of players now. So anyway, so they put the Brickyard up against, if it would have ran today, they put it up against the NFL, right? And now with the shitty weather and so forth, they're going to say the attendance sucked and everything was down in Indy and so forth. Those of us, I know there's some folks here that are watching that have been to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's a whole different program back there.
Yeah.
Racing is everything they do.
Yep.
And I don't know. I just feel like they set them up for failure on that. What do you think about that, DJ?
Quite possible. There's a lot of history at Indy. There's no doubt about it. Of course, the Indy cars have made most of that history. But I hate to say this. Whenever NASCAR goes to Indianapolis, historic track, great venue, but the race usually sucks. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Just in my opinion.
The first one was awesome when Gordon had to hold off Rusty Wallace.
That was a storybook ending there.
Ernie Irvin.
The kid, not originally from Indiana, but most of us live in Indiana, and wins the very first Brickyard 400. That was a storybook ending.
And
right
Pittsburgh's just past Claremont.
Right.
It's right there. So.
But
I don't know.
I don't know. I just
It's still a fun race to watch.
oh yeah.
And to me, I think it's one of the top 4 races in NASCAR to me.
Yeah.
You got the Southern 500, Daytona course. I think the Bristol Night race is really important. I do, and I think the Indy race was after that. Darlington. I'm sorry, the Southern 500 is Darlington. So to me, Darlington's very important.
To me, Darlington's always been Labor Day weekend as well.
You're on. There you go.
Fix it.
So to me,
You're still on.
his volume is loud. His volume is probably pretty loud.
Oh, hey.
Hey, we got a guest.
We have a guest. We found him. Tyler, hold on one second. Why
Hold
is
on.
this not working?
I don't know.
Wait, because I'm not doing this. Hold
Hang
on,
on,
I figured out why
Tyler.
I fucked up, Tyler.
Hang on, we got a Dono issue.
Hey, I am the best. Here we go.
Is that better? Tyler, can you hear me?
I got you.
All righty, we're going to turn you up and make sure you sound good. Give us a couple words. Say a couple things to me.
How are y'all doing today?
Well, we're better now that we can hear you, ladies and gentlemen on the phone. The 2018 champion of Rocky Mountain Raceway's modified division, the Maverick Modifieds, Mr. Tyler Whetstone.
Awesome.
Hey, welcome to Turn5.Live, Tyler. How are you?
Well, good. Thanks for having me.
You're on with
I'm good.
Good. You're on with Todd Labronte, DJ Everett, and Donovan Johns here at Turn5.Live. Hey, heck of a year. Congratulations from us here at the show. We sure appreciate you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a good year. It was hard fought, and it was kind of weird. Didn't win a race all year, but we ended up getting the championship. But
Yeah.
and I guess the point structure, that's how it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, and you always qualified well, and you ran up the top 2 or 3. It seemed like every race you were up there, and really the consistency seemed to me like looking through the point standings and looking, every weekend. Of course, I would watch it on Race Monitor. It looked like you were always moving forward, and you didn't really have a bad race. Right there towards the end of the year, it seemed like yourself, Nick Parker, Lynn Hardy, Zachary Webster. It seemed like all of you were really having good runs. And Lynn Hardy, of course, you guys were all moving right towards the front there. So a lot of fun. We've got pictures of your car that I took years ago up here on Meridian and at Twin Falls, up here on our podcast. So when you get a chance to watch it, I think you'll appreciate it. Let's go back in time a little bit, Bud. Let's talk about when you first started racing, because I think I know the story. But let's go back in time. What was your first race car?
My first race car was a Pro 4.
Was it front wheel drive?
Yeah.
Front wheel drive, yeah. Yeah, my dad, Keith Whetstone, he had it, and I was helping him out a little bit, and, they were drinking beer. I just got home from my mission, so this was before my drinking days, and,
God bless you.
anyways, they were drinking beer and working on the car, and he was getting married, and I just recently got unengaged. You want to say that?
Congratulations.
So I had a ring, and he was getting married, and I said, well, why don't you trade me your Pro 4 for this engagement ring, and then you can upgrade it for your new wife. And I think they had enough alcohol that it actually worked. So,
So alcohol wins. It's undefeated, you know. Alcohol. There's two things in life that are undefeated: sex and alcohol. They both win every conversation.
yeah, well, that was cool. And he'd actually already purchased another car, that rear-wheel drive car, and so I had that old front-wheel drive car, and then we raced together for a couple years. Actually, yeah, about a year and a half.
Yeah. And that was right at the end of my drive. Donovan's breaking shit. That was right at the end of my racing career with the Pro 4. And I know you raced with Neil Latham, and you raced with, who else that's in our series? Kyle, maybe? That you raced with them with the Pro 4s. When did you move out of the Pro 4s?
Oh, God, I can't remember the year, because like I say, it was short-lived. I only raced for about a year and a half, and then I got married and had to sell that car.
Yep.
And then that was the end of my Pro 4 career, and then I ended up buying a super stock in Salt Lake, and a couple of years after I'd been married. So.
All right, so you ran the super stock for a couple of years. How'd you do in it?
The super stocks was good. I think I was in there for about 5 years. I never won a championship, but I think I finished second twice in the overall. It was fun. It was a good class, and then just graduated to the modifieds.
Yeah. And how long have you been running mods? How long have you been running the mods?
I think it's been 7, I think. Possibly 8, because let's see, I won my other championship in 2013.
Oh, I think I lost him.
3 years in it. So yeah, so what would that make it? Maybe 8 years now? Did I do the math right?
Yeah, something like that. We got a little bit of technical stuff here we're working through. We're trying to get you a
right
little bit louder.
now.
Hey, are you there, Tyler? Talk to us a little bit.
I'm still
Here. You guys there?
Yeah.
Donovan finally fixed it. All right, we can turn
Best
it down.
producer of this stinking show
That's
right
the
here.
best producer sitting to the right of me that we have. That's awesome. Now I can't hear anything, but let's keep playing with it. So Tyler, about 4 or 5 years now in the modifieds. Let me ask you a question. I noticed that since I've seen you run the modified, you've always had the NAPA sponsorship on the 00. How did that come about, and how good have they been to you?
Okay, yeah. So, they've been great. It's technically Napa Auto Care Centers, and how that works is, my dad Keith, he owns a automotive shop, certified automotive in Salt Lake City, and he is, they have a group of automotive shops. They call it a business development group.
Sure.
Of shop owners that are also Napa Auto Care Centers, and they, just have an advertising budget that they have a pool of money for, and
Right.
I went in and talked to them and just said, hey, are you interested in doing this? And let's see, this has been the fourth year, and it's been great. I mean, they've just been awesome, and I don't know what's going to happen after this year, of course, because I'm not sure what we're going to do racing and so on. And they're all local, they're local Salt Lake shops. Well, really Provo to Ogden, but obviously whatever I do with racing, I'm gonna have to travel. So
Yeah, it's always.
They've been a
possible.
great sponsor.
It's always possible that there's your stair step into getting some sponsorship for a regional or national or so forth, because NAPA is a big sponsor of many, many different types of motorsports, and I'm sure that you have a leg in since you've been so good to them. One thing that I've always admired about you and your racing series, your racing program, is that your car's on display at your sponsors quite often. I know that you take it to the shows, you take it to the not Salt Palace anymore, but you take it to the Utah Car Show. You do all that kind of stuff, so that's pretty cool. I've always looked at that and all right, those guys got it going on. So I think that you'd have a good leg to stand on. So let's talk about 2018 here. The ups and downs of this year. I know that you race with some family and you race with some people that you really care about, and out there at Rocky Mountain Raceway. So it has to be rewarding to go out to the racetrack and run well. What was your biggest challenge this year to win the championship?
Oh man, I don't. Just staying out of trouble, really. I guess because the car was actually really good, and so we didn't really have much of a struggle. I'd say last year we got it. Towards the end of the year, got it really about where we wanted it, and so we knew going into this year that the car was going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of good because I'd say we've had about a 2 or 3 year battle trying to get the car where we wanted. So the car was there, and I feel like I was there, driver wise. Just the challenges, just racing crate motors at RMR with a lot of talented drivers. I mean,
yeah.
Like you mentioned, the top 5. Me, Nick, Lynn, Jimmy Waters, Zach Webster. Those are all pretty stellar racers. And
Then
with the crate motor, we're all really close.
Oh yeah, and it's all about how the traffic breaks, little incidents that happen during the race. That determine the stuff. I know that Parker had an accident here, not last night, but a week or so ago, and that seemed to really cement your position on top of the standings. And that was unfortunate, but that was the luck that a champion doesn't have that bad luck at that race. You guys had 25 strong modifieds this year. And that's amazing. I can't tell you how cool that was to see the high car counts at Rocky Mountain Raceway for the final year. It was. I mean, we all agree, right, guys?
No,
Yep.
it's awesome.
Watching Race Monitor, which is how I always view your guys' races. That's to see that many cars and run that well overall. It's awesome to be a part of and for you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a good year, car count was, and it was actually a fairly clean year. I felt like. I mean, we've had worse with less cars. So, I mean, it was a pretty good year. I had a good time.
Yeah.
So this is DJ here. Is there one memory that you can share from us from RMR that over your career of racing there that you want to share with us that sticks out?
One memory from RMR over the career, you said?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Since they're closed.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a ton of memories. I don't know if I can narrow it down to one. Probably one of my, I don't know, going back to Superstock days, I think I'd finished like second or third multiple years, and I was finally on track to win a championship in what would have been my last year of Superstocks. And I was in like this beer drinking softball league.
Yeah.
And during race season, totally blew out my knee, ruptured my patellar tendon, and that was rough because it put me out for 2 races, so it kind of killed my championship hopes. But I don't know really so much why. It's not really pertains to RMR, I guess, but it was hard, getting out and out of the car, watching it. It put a lot of things in perspective, I think, for me. Because I was so happy to win that championship, and then it just was kind of, I don't know, it just made me appreciate racing and things like that. I know it might not be the best memory, but that sticks out.
No, that's a life lesson. Actually, it's a poignant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this is Donovan. Watching you guys come up to do the Royal Purple Mod races and kind of watching your car and watching your run there. It was always impressive to me, your team, and how everything kind of coalesced together when you guys would unload your cars, your professionalism, the tightness of your crew when you guys came out was always something that struck me as something that was a well-knit family and crudeness, and that was crudeness. Is that a fucking word? Crudeness. But it impressed me the first time I saw you guys unload. I think that was at Pocatello in 15, 16.
Yeah.
First time I saw you guys. And it's always impressed me. And your car has always been one of my favorite cars to look at. That blue and yellow every race car should be blue and yellow. And the way your body is set up is fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like a modified model.
I love it. But no, so when I was watching as you were getting the championship this year, it was something I kept rooting for because I loved what you guys presented and I loved what you guys stood for as racers, and especially coming down from the RMR group. So that was something on my end I always felt connected to you with, and that was one of my memories of watching you guys unload out of your trailer, and that was just always really cool for me. So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know your dad, racing with him a little bit in the Pro 4s. He runs a tight ship. He's very clean and organized. And it was pretty cool seeing that smile on his face when you guys would run well. And I'm sure that closeness with your dad and your family, now your family, the Lutmers and so forth, that you've grown with RMR. And pretty cool. to see you guys hang out and do your thing. It makes me miss my father because that's what we used to do together. He died back in the 90s. But, yeah, I'm very happy for you guys. And, looking at that, the top 10 in that, those are all my buddies.
Right. I know.
Lynn,
it's hard to root
Zachary,
against it if you
Zachary's
guys
like
run
a little
it.
brother to everybody. I mean, we love Zachary, right? And gosh, I don't know Parker very well, but I know Jimmy Waters, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And,
That's race day rituals. Right after our racing gets done, is you jump on Race Monitor to see how everyone's doing in each track.
Did, right. And, Michael Hattenham's won a race in the Rocky Mountain Challenge Series, and he was in there a time or two. He had some good runs, and, he's had some good luck and some bad luck at RMR. And Mark Eath, of course, retired from at least from Modifieds. He's running some dirt stuff and doing some things and helping Kylie he's running it with his daughter's midget car. And that kind of deal. It's always been kind of a kinship with the RMR group. It's never been really a competition. It's been a kinship and a friendship. So
it's like watching your favorite cousin go do something cool.
Yeah, and it's just neat. And you just hope nobody crashed and had a bad night.
Right.
Yeah. That's more than anything. When I see a wreck down at RMR, I'm like, God, all my buddies just crashed. It's like they crashed at one of our races too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now that you've you wrapped up your championship here, what from this year was a defining moment to get that championship run? What happened where you looked forward and went, "Fuck, I got this"?
I don't know if I ever really felt that way, like I had it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think the difference for me this year, me and my dad were kind of talking about it. Just even, I've been racing for a long time. I guess since 2003, something like that. Well, actually Pro Force was before then. But anyways, with that being said, it's funny how you're still progressing as a driver. What me and my dad were talking about was this year. It's like I always felt like I had a weakness on the top, on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of came together for me this year. And it seems like such a small thing, but I think I gained a lot of positions that I wouldn't have normally gained because I was, a better driver up top, willing to take more chances that didn't feel so much like chances. They were like controlled chances. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because in the past it's like, I'm gonna go up high here and pass this guy, but it's gonna feel a little out of control. And this year it was different.
Was that a maturity on your end, or was it something with the car that was different?
I'm going to say it was a little bit. I think I've had good enough cars to do it. I'm going to say it's going to be more of a maturity on my driving end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
I think I've just let things slow down a little bit in my head and not get so caught up in the moment. And, realize that, okay, this is where you're at next to this car. If you're not up far enough and he's going to come up, just be prepared. Where in the past it's always like, oh no, I got to do this right now and it's got to get done. And instead of being that way this year, I'm just kind of like, let's just keep working on it and you'll get there. I don't know. That was one of my defining moments.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good to hear.
How old are you, Tyler? I know you're young.
Well, I'm not so young.
Compared to
I'm
us old folk.
39.
Yeah, so you're
still young.
Yeah, you're young, dude.
I started Pro 4s when I was racing, and that's a million
you had
years
said
ago.
that. Yeah, I know. Like Pro 4s is like when they invented 4 cylinders, right?
Yeah, Tyler, our common friend, Mr. Bowen, put a picture on Facebook that I stole, and it's currently being shown on the on our podcast right now. You and your beautiful truck pulling your trailer around Rocky Mountain Raceways, and I know it's the last time that you're going to be able to do that. So taking that victory lap with all your stuff before you went home last night had to be kind of tearful and sad in a way that in less than a month they're going to put some buckets of some graders and stuff through all that asphalt. I still can't believe it. My gut's still telling me, and I told DJ this last night.
We talked about this.
Yeah, I have a little inkling. Something in the back of my brain says that this isn't the last for this place. There's a little something in my brain says that, and maybe somebody out there is going to tell me I'm full of shit, and that's okay. but that maybe there's more than we realize that's going to happen here, and maybe we'll actually have a. Hi, Kim. Hang on. Kim just brought us beers on the podcast.
You,
Kim is awesome.
Kim.
Making enchiladas, bringing us some Sessions lager.
All right, thank you.
Sorry, Tyler. We were right in the middle of something
That's all
seminal and reminiscing, and I'm drinking beer. But it's our podcast. We can do what the hell we want. We can even say fuck and shit and stuff like that on the podcast. But it was kind of cool to watch you driving around there. And I don't know. Do you have any inklings or anything like I'm having about the track? Maybe Maybe there's some
outside hope somewhere.
Yeah, some white knight's going to come rescue racing in the valley, or what?
I'd even take a wicked witch at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I keep hearing it's going to get demoed really quick. So I think that RMR's done. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
But I don't know. What I keep hearing rumors of is that they might build out the old Miller
Really?
Motorsports facility.
Oh.
I don't know if they're going to build a dirt or a asphalt oval, but I hear more rumors about that than anything about RMR sticking around.
Yeah.
So that's what I've heard.
Working for Larry Miller, when Larry died, things changed, and it's sad. Our gift to the county out there really had some issues. That's a whole different show.
Right.
Yeah.
Going into what happened.
That's
out
an
there.
off-season show.
Yes, and you never know. By then, we may have more show fodder because of what's happening here.
Oh,
But
yeah.
There's just something in the back of my mind. All we've ever heard from on RMR, and I'm going to say it because the oval track's done. I really don't give a shit who I piss off at this point. But all we've ever heard come out of that, all these meetings that the Young family and Eames or whoever had, was all the information we've ever got is from RMR. Nothing's ever come from the owners of the facility, like the Freeport West people or any of that type of stuff. Maybe when that maybe they're just not saying a dang thing until the lease is up. Maybe that's. I mean, just think about it, Tyler. How much earthwork has to go into that thing so that it can be flat,
jeez.
and irrigation and ground testing and all that stuff has to go into that. They've got $20 million in leveling the land before they even think about putting something on there. I mean, just think of the cost of diesel alone. I mean, it's.
I love the fact that I go through, I made spreadsheets. I go through that same process. I'm like, what's it going to cost in man hours, in equipment, in wear and tear, in fuel to demo that gigantic piece of land
Oh yeah.
to build on
So
it.
I guess we're kind of hoping for an Irwindale Speedway situation here, where
Yeah, or Yakima. I'll take a Yakima at this
Yeah.
point. The ground's contaminated. Its best
Right.
use is as a racetrack, and that's if once that lease is up, somebody smart that's a race fan could actually go and say, you know what, this ground's contaminated. And if that's the case, they can't build anything else on it. So its continued use is the use that will stick with it.
Someone start dumping race fuel out there.
Oh, I would be out there right now.
Crop dust
lived out
race
there-
fuel everywhere.
Absolutely. If I lived out there, I'd be throwing 90 weight with hard metals in it from some old ground up pumpkin, and I'd be pouring it all over the freaking
Parking
turf.
lot, just
Oh,
soak it in.
And then I'd call the biggest liberal Democrat I could find and say, "Look, it's contaminated.
Test this spot right here.
This one, right? It's got mercury. And there's strychnine in this ground from them goddamn racers."
How many years has Chaparral been down? And there's still people begging for someone to go open Chappie.
Well, it's because it actually has a continuing use permit
Yeah, I mean, they're still
And
begging
permit.
for it.
as a racetrack.
Yeah. Same thing up here. We
Really?
lost Chappie and Chaparral Speedway, the what do they call it? Super Oval?
It was called Super Oval when it was built. Yeah.
out there in
Adam changed the name to Chaparral because of the street is Chaparral Speedway.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have a big track up here, too, that is now a
Big 3/8 high
grass
bank,
yard.
same size as RMR, and it was the finest
Screaming
paved
track.
oval in
Oh,
the western United States when it was
Fucking
built.
amazing.
And a great place to race your race car
Horrible place to watch racing.
because you looked into the sun.
So you were
Which
directly
I've always said, if you're
sun-facing
gonna build
for
a
the entire
racetrack,
show.
I always said, if you're going to build a racetrack, watch where the sun is.
yes, and clean the
During
bathrooms.
during show when the start of showtime is. Watch where the sun is, and
Yeah. No, that was a horrible mistake there.
Well,
but the
Tyler,
track.
as we talk about what your year transpired here, we want to thank you very much for
Yeah.
that. But let's talk about the future. I know that right now, with everything in flux, with Rocky Mountain Raceways, and it's a little bit nuts. What are your goals? What would you like to do next? I mean, is it a Winston West car? Is it an open wheel sprint car? What are you wanting to go with racing?
Magic Valley.
Well, I'm going to be honest. So I think probably what I'm going to do is get a dirt car.
hey, all right.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Dirt cars are incredible. Go running
but,
price
I mean,
and stuff.
I would love to keep my car that I have, and of course do the Royal Purple modified thing. That would be great.
I've heard those guys are nice.
Yeah, that's a great
Pretty damn good series out here.
great group. But I don't know, it just might not work for me in my situation with the traveling as much. I know here in Utah we have 3 or 4 tracks within a couple hours. And for me, I'm kind of ready to do something different as well. And it's more for just trying to get my family involved and keep them involved.
Sure.
Yeah.
My boy, I want to eventually get him into racing.
Sure.
And I think that's going to be the best bet for us, you know?
Yeah, it would be easy for somebody to build a good outlaw kart track, like Cycle Land or one of those up there, and you could even run them in the winter in the big buildings. I know they used to run go-karts at the fairgrounds over on West Temple, or North Temple, years and years and years ago in Salt Lake. It would be kind of neat for seeing somebody do that. There's no outlaw kart track down there.
Really?
No.
I got distracted there by
14 of
Austin
them
Lutmer for a second, but were you guys talking about an outlaw track?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I personally thought about doing that, actually, here in Salt Lake. I think that would be a blast.
Well, yeah, I could help you there. I mean, DJ Everett, sitting here on the phone with us, is the announcer at Black Canyon Speedway, which is an outlaw track here in Idaho. And there's, 4 outlaw tracks in Idaho or something like that?
Yeah.
Right in this area. And we've got probably 250 go-karts that are runnable sitting. So, yeah, this is a smaller community than Salt Lake, of course.
We should have a conversation about that because I've, even tried to look at possible locations and because I'm thinking that, I don't know. But anyways, I would love to talk to you guys about that because I think that would be great for down here because like you say, your kids can race, your adults can race.
Yep.
All at the same facility,
It's fairly inexpensive compared to what a asphalt car costs.
Right.
And they don't break as much. I mean, if you'll notice when you watch the podcast up here to my right above my head is a picture of TJ. We won Idaho State Championships twice, a bunch of indoor championships and stuff. In the Open Outlaws, 125 shifter karts, that kind of stuff. I loved it. It was funner racing with my kids than it ever was running myself. So I think that's a big family deal when you get everybody out there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bought my 7-year-old a kart, and
he
didn't want to do it, so we sold it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that would be cool. I mean, and that's just kind of where I'm at. I mean, I could kind of walk away from racing. I've done it for long enough. I've accomplished my goals.
Sure.
But now it's kind of more like maybe trying to get my son involved with it. And he's just a little too young to do anything right now. He's 4, but I would like to start looking for avenues for him,
Oh, the 5-year-olds start doing the PB box.
Yeah. Little Jax Flores is, gosh, he's real small. And that's where they all come from anymore, Tyler. If you think about it, your Logan Seavies, who's the next like Kyle Larson.
Yep.
He was up here racing in Idaho 5 years ago. It was as an 12-year-old kid. Kyle Larson, Rico Avery, came from outlaw karts in Northern California. Matt Dibedenoto, Matt Dibedenoto, that guy, he was running with Kyle Larson. He's actually raced here in Boise.
Yeah.
But on and on, that's where they're coming from. And those outlaw karts are the stuff. And the big outlaw kart manufacturer in the United States is a company called QRC, and that's owned by Jimmy Elledge. It started in Northern California, but it's owned by Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s brother-in-law, Jimmy Elledge. Yeah. And so they're making karts all over the place. A good friend of ours, Christopher Rowling, works there. Great bunch of people, and their karts are fantastic and very safe. Form of racing with the high back seats and so forth. Kids don't go that fast. I mean, in the open outlaw karts, we're probably doing, those karts, if you let them go, would be doing 85, 90 mile an hour around a 8th mile track if you let them run it. So, interesting and fun. And there's a whole different crowd when you go into dirt. There's more people that will come. Anyway, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you were at dinner when we bugged you.
Yeah.
But that's all right. No, I've been my pleasure, man. I'm glad to talk with you guys.
Yeah, and I gotta do one little plug while I got you on the phone. September 22nd, Meridian Speedway. Last race of the year. 602 will work fine, but I know you got that big old boy sitting there in the shop too. You can slide in that beautiful 00 car and come up and have some fun. We love having you guys up here. You're good friends, and always fun when you come. You make it a funner show for us. So we'd love to have you come up. But whatever works for you works for us. So if that doesn't work, okay. But we'd love to have you come up. Maybe even we'll get Lion Tamer to throw $100 tow money your way or something.
Yeah, we'll
that's
keep that in
Donovan
mind.
Johns. That's Donovan Johns, the Lion Tamer beard can.
Thanks for spending my budget. I got to get my car running.
But
No, yeah,
we'll figure that out. But
Yeah.
let's see if we can't get the champ up here and do a victory celebration up here in Boise for you, too.
Definitely.
I'll definitely buy you some beer.
I'll talk with the fam and see what we got
Right.
planned. I don't even know what the plans are after this,
Oh,
honestly.
get drunk first.
Right.
But yeah, I'm down there tomorrow, so maybe I'll hit you up.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks
my
again,
friend.
guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Once
Yeah.
again, congratulations from all of us here at Turn5.Live. I know we're getting some people on the podcast are all giving you thumbs up and thank yous and congratulations and stuff. So definitely appreciate you, Tyler. The picture of you guys driving around RMR is one I'm going to keep for a long time from Joe. Bowen put it up there, so that's pretty cool. So anyway, thank you very much. Say hi to your family and your dad and everybody, and we'll talk at you soon.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you, Tyler.
See
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that didn't suck.
That didn't suck.
We never gave Tyler the clap for his championship. Tyler!
He's got the clap.
Yeah, go see the doctor tomorrow.
Well, you know, most of our listeners have the clap by now.
There isn't right, my friend. Dude, I just looked over my shoulder here, and there's like people chatting up a storm on our
Oh,
side.
yeah,
I've been
they're
watching.
talking about.
Anybody
watching.
communicating with that?
No,
They're,
they're talking about Stockton 99.
Yeah.
So
Love
Johnny
Stockton.
Martinez, who's helping.
Martinez.
Hate to say it, but dirt tracks are selling out every weekend. Coming back around.
No,
Right.
I know. I tell you that.
Yeah.
Who's got the information on the dirt track? Somebody had sent me a video about a dirt track over by Mountain Home.
Mountain Home.
What was that?
Doug
Doug.
McCarthy.
Yes, Doug.
Yeah.
Doug, if you're watching,
Doug
post up
McNugget.
some information.
Yeah. I think they're in the very beginning stages of the dirt track out there. So, from what I hear. But
Cool.
yeah, we have some listeners. They're kind of chatting amongst
Good
themselves.
Lord, yeah, there's like
as
a
well.
wall of text behind me,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it works.
right?
Yep.
All right. So what else happened this weekend?
I think
there
that's about it.
anything
That's our
else to
show. Thank you for playing. Telford, 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 ZTR, ZTR, ZTR.
All right.
I heard that there was a young man who had a pretty decent weekend. Whoa.
Here he goes again.
Whoa.
Wait.
What do
Here
you,
he goes again.
the dogs are going nuts out there.
Well,
Yeah.
what are you out of peanut butter or what?
Probably.
Yeah. Well,
So Meridian Speedway
So what do we
last
got?
night.
Meridian.
Speedway last night. Excuse me.
no.
Really quick. Junior Stingers. It's Castricone. Cody Castricone.
He's on a chair.
Cody Castricone, Rusty Hop, Logan Castricone. The big three in that series.
You know, the three of those kids here, next season should all just be mini stocks.
I think so.
Right, let's do it.
I'll call Rodney up and say, Rod, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Hey, kid.
Got a couple Hoosiers for ya.
Yeah. Yep. Legends, Ethan Jones back in Victory Lane again.
Nice.
Over Katie Miller and Donovan Barr. Claimers, Mr. Pat Tully. Let's talk about Claimers really quick, though. Pat Tully, Preston Henderson, Todd Seaver, Taylor Chapenti during the heat race.
Taylor, Wall,
Watch
Taylor.
him.
Please
Pitty.
meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's Nisi and Sieves out there running. Sam, how come you didn't run? You must be down in California.
Sam is still in Cali.
Oh, okay.
Sam and E
I-
Parts.
I can't keep track of his schedule, but I think, he might still be in Cali.
we created a forum group just for Sam's schedule.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, he's
Yeah.
He's going to Thursday. He's going to watch the Canyon race at Vegas on dirt.
Yes.
Any parts, Sam?
Yes.
Don't hold me up here.
Christopher Bell in one of Bill McAnally's cars for that race.
I'll put him as a winner right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's 5-1. Probably. I'll give everybody $5 against the field versus Christopher Bell right now.
That's a hard bet to go
Right,
against, but you just never know.
Well, you could get a flat tire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He could get Christiani,
He could.
dump him into 3.
Yeah. I mean, he could. But no, that. I mean,
I'll take I'll take Logan Seavey.
At one point when they announced
He's not
that
ready.
race,
I'm just kidding.
I know it. At one point, I'd take Christopher Bell still. More experience in a heavy car, I'd take that. But at one point when they announced that race, I was going to be a spotter in that race
Seriously?
for Mr. Rob Powers.
Okay.
Yep, Rob was going to run that race and decided that he didn't feel like working on the car all summer, so he just didn't. But Rob's got his own business now,
Right.
and some things, so he decided not to do it. But yeah, we were going for sure.
So that's what happened to Claimers last night. And Modifieds, Colton Nelson and Brian Orff split the main events.
Split it.
Yeah.
That's a good night
Fast
for.
time, Josh Jackson. In the Lion Tamer Beard Care Modified.
Yeah.
Was it the modified?
Yep.
Nice, good.
Speaking of
comes up fighting.
Yeah. Speaking of qualifying, let's talk about the Big 5 late models. I want to talk about qualifying really quick. Zach Telford was fastest in qualifying, but Tillstrom, Brooke Schimmel, last year's Treasure Valley 125 winner, was there last night from Washington, I believe she's from. She was there last night, and the top three was separated by 3/100ths of a second in qualifying.
Wow.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
In that kind of a series, to have the
When
top three.
they got 5 rules,
Right, I know.
so that's cool.
And to have
And 5 races.
to have people come in who aren't regulars and still be able to lay down lap times and be that freaking close. Gar.
Yep. Yep.
It just blows my mind.
Yep.
Oh, and it's gone.
Donna and Donald's gone. Just like that. Yeah, that is pretty incredible. And Donna, let's see, Zachary was fast time. Who was second?
Yeah. It's Kyle Tillstrom was second quick.
Kyle? In Lee Hackney's car.
Sure. Yep. And then Brooke Schimmel was third quick.
That's good. How many total cars did we have?
9, I think I saw.
9?
Not a bad field for a
Well,
super
if you
late-
think
for
about
big
it, the late
fives.
models were also running at Salt
Right.
Lake.
Right.
And so there was a little bit there. And that's one thing we got to say when we get to the next series that we talk about, our series that we own. Pretty good modifieds all over the place, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But in the end, our boy
Little
Zach
Zachary,
Telford, put a victory lane.
14-year-old wonder kid,
That 86-pound wonder.
and we'll pick him up and throw him, dwarf toss him, and go throw him in the water or something.
Yeah.
And we were trying to get Telford on. This is a true story. He's still 14 years old. Zachary was supposed to be on the show tonight. Tyler came on as an emergency guest. The reason he isn't on the show tonight is because his phone died and he's over watching football at his buddy's house. That's true.
Not just football. Who was he watching? Redskins.
Packers.
Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the kid's a good driver, but he doesn't make good football decisions.
No.
Go Browns.
Go Browns. Take him
I got never even talk either. My team lost also. So.
But yeah, that's true. That's what James said. He's laughing. He goes, I don't know. The kid went watching football game with his buddy. Not to tell you.
Yeah. Ben Crow was second, and Dylan Caldwell third.
Ben Crow ran second.
Yeah.
And DC, what was DC running? What number car?
He's running the
Number
6
6,
car.
the,
Oberdorf.
Yeah.
Kurt Oberdorf's car. Yeah. Oh, good deal.
Oberdorf. He's
What
got
happened?
good equipment.
Anybody
He
know
does.
what happened to Tellestrom during the race? Because he only ran 35 laps.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Huh.
Some-
Well, maybe
I'm
somebody
assuming
did.
right around lap 36 something happened.
Somebody knows.
Knock you
let
the
us-
fuck right out.
If somebody knows, please let us know.
Who's got the 411 on the lap 35 incident with Tellstrom?
Tellstrom. I don't know what happened.
Okay,
Hopefully-
correction. Now I showed Josh Fanopoulos is finishing third instead of Dylan Caldwell. Dylan Caldwell finished fourth.
Phenopolis,
Damn it.
dude. Phenopolis, dude. Come on. Phenopolis.
Every time I hear his name, or even just say it, it's the same thing. Yeah, I'm a monopolist.
Phenopolis. All right.
I have grown to appreciate Phenopolis.
All right. So do you have the RMR results?
Yes,
All right.
I do.
Wait, was that the only guys who ran?
No.
At Meridian?
Yeah.
Just 4 classes?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I had double main events with the modifieds also.
Oh, yep. There we
yeah.
go.
And it was the Jeff Russell Rotary Recovery.
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah. Jeff's doing better.
Yeah,
Yep.
so.
Yep. RMR,
Or,
late models, Mr. Crisciani won there over Mr. Newhouse and Parker. So that's your
Nick
top
Parker,
3.
man,
Yeah,
third.
Nick Parker.
This is the Utah State Championships down there, and we got to talk about it in case you don't realize it. This was the last oval track race in Rocky Mountain Raceway's history, according to what they're saying to us. So yeah, it was a big deal. They started early, and they had every class that they have running yesterday. So it was a full day. A lot of work, a lot of fun though.
Yep. Limited sprints, Natalie Waters won the main event.
nice.
Good for her.
Yeah.
You know, over Bob Massey and Mr. Dorsett. They're from Nevada, I believe. Those two
think
guys.
so.
Yeah. And we talked about a little bit about modifieds. Lynn Hardy.
Lynn Hardy.
20 modifieds last night there
Yep.
on hand
Yep.
over Zach Webster and Jeff Webster.
And the former Fat Boy Ice Cream Eric Reed ride. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yep. Midgets, Natalie Waters again. So she won
Pretty
twice
good
last
night.
night.
Double
Yeah,
duty.
The Nat attack.
Yeah.
Pretty good night.
definitely. And Pro 4's mini stocks ran together. Justin Carson. Over,
That car's on a rail.
Yeah, over Kevin Winters and Tyler Green.
Then it's a train, not a car.
I'm going to take
We're gonna-
this
you know
nail
what?
right here.
Let's talk about
It's the same size as my penis.
Bragger. Nobody's that big.
Let's talk about those guys.
Yes.
Remember the meeting that we had, the mini stock meeting. Drew Crenshaw, who has close ties to those guys in Salt Lake City, said all of them, or quite a few of them, are going to become.
Yeah, so hopefully
Meridian.
the four of them, all of that team, if they come up to the mini stock races, I was also talking with the Hatches who are at Twin Falls this weekend.
Yep.
They're planning on coming out for Saturday night. If we can get the four of them, the four of those guys from Salt Lake, the two of them, and maybe if Audette would come back and a couple other guys, we stand to have good 20+ mini stocks for the weekend race.
Yeah. Some talent. I mean, some great talent.
That's gonna be fast.
I'm really curious to see how those cars from Salt Lake will do at that track at Meridian.
They're set up for two big tracks.
Right.
To set up for that tight little Meridian, a little bit of suspension changing.
I'm curious about the Hatches as well. Pocatello.
They have the Pocatello rules, and they're running the 790 tires, which are slightly softer than rock.
Not much softer than rocks.
Not much. So they were talking about maybe grabbing up a couple of 700s. Talked to Eddie McKean. Eddie McKean was going to make him a deal on what he has left over on his old mini stock tires that he's got sitting there. So if they can get some 700s underneath those cars, they'll be able to go into those corners a lot harder. And that'll help dramatically. Because when I ran the 790s, when I ran over in Pokey, holy crap. You're driving on marbles.
Yeah, I imagine.
So.
Well, you're Pocatello usual area anyway, right?
Yeah. What else happened at Utah?
Superstocks, Tim Farner took the main event.
Tim Farner, a great battle all year long.
Yeah.
Between the top two in points there at Salt Lake with the Superstocks. I can't remember both of their names. My brain's escaping me, but they were right there in points.
There's Kyle Walker. There's Kevin Truscott.
Yeah. And those guys were back and forth all year long, running up front there. Maybe they were 2 tenths or so faster. It was really who broke traffic first. My buddy Tim Powell had a good run this year. I think he finished third overall in points. Good dude, and did well there too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Superstocks.
So that was the night at the old Fable RMR. I hate to see that happen, on final night, but I'm with you. Something inside tells me it may not be the end of it.
I don't know. But just something tells me I don't see that valley without racing of some kind, especially drag racing, because they got a lot of drag racers.
Yeah.
So I think something will happen.
So we had some racing last night at Magic Valley, which all three of us were there.
How was it?
Let's talk with you though first.
Yes.
Mini stocks.
Minis.
You brought Tucker out there last night.
Cody Kirkland did me the favor and hauled out Tucker free of charge. I offered to pay him. They kept saying no. So
so thank you to
thank you Cody and
much.
Danielle and Kidlets for getting Tucker out there. And by the time we got through an RV fire and my son's birthday, got out there with about 10 minutes to spare before the first main event. So I put some air in the tires, kind of guessed what it needed to be, and went out racing. That was fun.
Yeah, they had their mini modifiers?
Mini mods.
Mini mods. The Hatches were there last night as well.
The Hatches in their hatches.
Yep.
I just now went there. Yeah, so the Hatches came out from Pocatello. Hold my car out, just come out and see what they've got, and kind of help them and see what they can do. And through talking to the dad, they're going to be bringing out to Meridian. But anyway, Tucker ran well. Really missed on the tire setup on that thing, and it's still I don't know what it is. And I was just Sam posted up. He's still making some parts for me. That thing will not stick to the inside at all. I dive it down low and I go straight out. But about halfway through the first main, something in the back half under cylinder 4 let go and started splaying oil. So it's either a rear main or it was me. I was pissing oil. A whole bunch of Royal Purple oil came out the back of my motor.
You don't buy Royal Purple. You're too cheap.
No, I had a sponsor.
That's true. I gave you this.
So, but car ran fast. I think I was turning 16.4s out there. I know the 7 car from Salt Lake is turning 16.1s. So I'm about 3 tenths off of his pace.
Horsepower.
But
we're gonna get you some horsepower.
Yeah. Well, and again, setup. I when I went into that first corner, I was like, "Whoa, missed this." So I had to do a lot of backing up eventually and kind of working it through.
It was good to me. The one I watched you in, you had to start last. If you'd have started up front, you'd have finished front.
Oh yeah, those guys weren't walking on me at all.
No, you'd have won.
But I opted because I didn't qualify, so I just went all the way to the back. So all the mini mods started up front, and then the 2 hatches and me in the back.
The cars on slicks beat you.
Yeah. 10-inch race tires.
1,800 pounds.
Right?
Yeah. That's 2,300 cc's. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they got like 500 more cc's than I do.
Yeah.
Big old race slicks.
70 million laps on the racetrack. Chris McKean.
Right, I don't know, some of the like top talents and the late model drivers behind the cars. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all right. You've been fine.
So let's go through the rest of these results because I know you probably want to talk about your race last night. Super Stocks, Jeff Peck won the main event. Dan Pearson, Willie Dalton. Junior Stingers, Kelly McKean. And Hornets, Chris McKean ran a Hornet last night, I guess. So he won the main event. So, yeah.
Chris McKean won a race at Magic
Yeah,
Valley.
here we go again. Yeah, here we go again.
And it wasn't on the big track.
What?
Yeah. And that leads us to the
Royal Purple Modified Series.
Yeah, the
Presented by
cars
Volvo.
and the stars of the world.
We had 18 cars. We had a good show.
Oh my God. Heat races were freaking unbelievable.
Heat races were great. Qualifying, we had our two visitors from Colorado National Speedway, Ed Vecchiarelli Sr. and Ed Vecchiarelli Jr.
Gorgeous cars.
Beautiful cars.
Ridiculous.
Slightly legal. we'll say that they were legal.
There's a one race grace.
No, there's not.
They took all the graces.
What's a fucking one race grace in a touring series? You don't have that. But don't be saying that. Because people go, I thought Donovan said so. Constitution. But no, we had to make some body modifications. I had them change the bodies a bit, what they could do. And they were really nice about it. Preston Peltier and the group was really nice about that. So it was a lot of fun to actually work with them. But we did tech the cars pretty hard. And other than the body things that I had them help change what they could change, little things like ground straps for fuel cells, and I checked their wheel widths. We went through and teched them pretty good, and they were good, but they were about 0.3 faster than everybody.
Shit fun.
Yeah,
Well,
tons of motor. Tons of motor. So in qualifying,
Eddie
Vecchiarelli, the junior, the 48 blue and white 48 car, set fast time. I believe it was
14.5.
14.54.
2/10 up. Yeah, 2/10 off the track record.
Yeah,
So,
he was right down there. And believe it or not, the track record is on the old configuration. And I believe it was Shelby.
well,
Shelby.
Eddie McKean told me that it was set last year by Christiani. 14.
Oh, there you go.
14.3.
Yeah, it was Christianity. I'm sorry. That's right. The new configuration. They did get it. So, yeah, they were fast. And
They were top two, actually, both father and son and father.
Our heat races? Who won our heat races?
Neil Latham.
Neil Latham walked away in his heat
Yeah.
race and was gone. Yeah.
Heat 2 was Abe Carter.
Abe Carter. First race of the year for Abe. No, second race of the year for Abe.
He was one of the latecomers in the shuttle fleet. So.
He was. They had a potato truck roll over on the freeway.
Yeah.
And so our Utah contingent was a little bit late getting up. Yeah.
Yeah. Third year race was actually exciting. Brendan Watt was leading it, coming down to the white flag, and Eddie. It's actually pronounced Vecchiarelli. I'm sorry.
Vecchiarelli.
Vecchiarelli is what they told me. Vecchiarelli.
Okay.
Anyway,
I just go with Ashley. So.
that's fine. That's what she told me too, Eddie. Anyway, Brendan Watt was leading, coming down the white flag, and Eddie Vecchiarelli got to the outside of him and got him on the last lap.
Awesome pass.
It was a great race. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was all three heat races. Which we had enough cars for 3 heat races. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the neat thing was, of course, we went through practice, we went through qualifying, we went through heat races without any issues at all. Then they let the mini stocks on the racetrack.
Hey.
So let's talk about it. We always talk about sanity, and we talk about being patient. One of the things that we've always done is we've inverted 16 cars in our fields. Plus, we have another rule that if you're 1 second off fourth quick, it used to be sixth quick, and we changed to fourth quick. If you're 1 second off of fourth quick, you don't make the invert. Well, we haven't had anybody this year miss the invert because they were more than a second off of fourth quick. As we start the race, first lap, even coming to the start, coming to the green flag, they were beating on each other.
Oh my God.
Cars were checking up, doing stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, guys, they didn't make it one lap without tearing a bunch of stuff up. So down in 3 and 4,
three
first
times.
lap, down in 3 and 4, the first lap, we had to go complete restart. We gave all the cars their stuff back. A couple cars came in and had to make adjustments on their car. We let them start where they were going, but instantly we were behind on time. We started about 8:15. By the time we started the second start, we got 1 lap in, and the Vecchiarelli took each other out.
Yeah.
And there's no other way to say it. Reviewing the tapes, Ed Sr. lost it on the top. He thought he got hit, but he didn't, looking at the tape. Came down the track, took out Junior, and everybody went for a spin cycle going into one. Sean Card, who had showed up late and was running around the back to have some fun. He was caught up in the potato truck incident. Slid into him, and both the front ends on those cars were totaled out. So we lost number 1 and number 2 qualifier on lap 2.
1. Yeah.
1, 2.
1.5.
Yeah, we tore up everybody pretty much at that point. And
most of the top 6 were already taking damage.
Yeah,
with 1 lap in.
Yeah, and looking back, the dirt crew at Magic Valley Speedway and the safety crew had gone around the racetrack looking for anything they could see, but there were a few races before us where cars were definitely leaking oil. One of them was, well, yours race was a bit before us too, but there was the mini stock second main, and the mini stocks ran right before us, and those modified things
The
were
mini
just
mods.
puffing oil out. And,
Yeah, the yellow one was, you could visually
probably lost
watch
2 or 3 quarts
misting
of oil.
just right out.
And what it did was it made like a haze on the track, especially in 3 and 4. And so there was like a haze on the racetrack, and there was a little bit of stuff up in 1 and 2, and everybody felt the track was completely greasy, and there was oil all over the place. Well, I walked every inch of that damn racetrack while we were waiting for cleanup. Right? You guys saw me, right? There's no oil on the racetrack. We went back to green about lap 6. Transmission disintegrated, bell housing disintegrated on the new 25 car from Mr. Chad Barker, unfortunately.
Yeah, Lee Hackney's old equipment.
Yeah,
Which is
and those
good.
guys have worked their ass off on that car, and they're good. They're people that I care about, and then watching them go through some pain there with that car breaking again really hurt. In the wreck, Mike Fulmer was caught up in that lap 5 or so, and he went in the wall and bent the rear end in his car. Chad's car had to get towed in, but it was odd because they were telling me that transmission only holds like a quart of oil that he was using and so forth. So it must have been the bell housing, but I was picking up hunks of stuff on the racetrack. I mean, but we cleaned up on the racetrack. Oddly enough, was very little oil. It was water, but there was some 90 weight. There was some stuff. I think when Mike hit the wall, it broke the axle a little bit, and some 90 weight came out. So that we had up in 3 and 4, we had some floor drying, we had some stuff, and the kids were the minions that in Magic Valley were doing the best they could to get it all cleaned up. And we had, the gear oil doesn't come up very good. So when we had the cars go around below the track off a little bit, but essentially what they did with that cat litter they put on that stuff, that blew off instantly the first lap, and then they just tracked the oil up and through the center of turns 3 and 4 out of turn 4. So turn 4 became our calamity corner. And we had a couple guys that are fast in our group loop it off for us. So we ended up, I think we had 7 cautions last night.
I stopped counting.
7 cautions.
I lost track of it too.
We had 4 or 5 reds.
We started counting it. Yeah, well, I go red on purpose so that whenever they're
reset
sweeping
everybody
the
up.
racetrack, whenever they're sweeping the racetrack, we don't have any people on the race. When people are out of their trucks sweeping and working, I don't have cars out there. We had a couple discipline issues. We need to get our cars single file. That's something we'll cover in every pit meeting from now on. If you think you're in front of this guy or in front of that guy, we'll figure it out. With the transponders, we'll tell you. We're not going to let you start in the wrong spot if we can help it. Unfortunately, last night we did have some scoring issues from the racetrack too. So we did have a car lose a lap. We had a car that was scored wrong, though we were screaming about it.
That was the most vocal I think I've heard the headsets.
I was
continuously.
mad. I knew that car was not a lap down.
Right.
And a little bit of an experience in the officiating stand-up that I had up there on both accounts, the track and my guy.
Yeah.
And Eddie Karen just wanted to go racing. It had a lot to do with that, and got some hurt feelings with some people.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna have to deal with it. Racing deals happen.
A lot of hurt feelers out there last night.
Well, okay, but that happens at the racetrack too. That's part of racing too.
Hey, that's part that. As much as I love what it is that we do, you have to expect that that's gonna happen, and then you got to take a breath, regroup, and come back at it.
Yeah, I mean, last night. There's a percentage of blame to go around to everyone.
Oh my God! Last night was freaking.
From track promoter to series promoter to spotters to drivers to track crew to announcer. Very small amount, but
no, I heard him. That was pretty bad.
I know, but from the mini stock guy to the prep for the race, everybody has a percentage that they own. Now we're never going to settle on who has more percentage of what. That's debatable. Right. But everybody has a percentage.
I'll take 13.
And the quicker that you acknowledge that shit just happens sometimes, the quicker you're going to get over it. But if you hold grudges and make it work, all right. But a couple things we are never going to have happen. And when official tells you to do something, you do it. That's not going to...
All right.
That's... Sorry. Yeah, you got screwed. Sorry. You know, and
sometimes with the windshield, sometimes with the bug.
And, you know, we've talked about the people that we know who we're talking about. So with those people we've talked, and it's settled. We got that handled, and
good, yeah.
A lot of love still. So there's a lot of good things there. But essentially what happens, we had to start counting yellows and go through these restarts. As we went through the restarts, I'm telling you, there was some great driving up there by Mr. Scott Gilligan.
Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Willie Dalton.
Persevered.
They timed their restarts, kind of questionable, but legal. Kind of questionable, but legal. We didn't throw any blacks at them, but they battled hard. Willie and Scotty battling hard for the win was pretty cool to watch.
That was.
And we were down to it, and DJ pointed this out on the drive home last night. Tell me what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was watching from the booth up there with about 10 laps ago. I was under yellow flag condition. I was looking at the top 5. I'm like, holy crap, it's Scott Gilligan, Willie Dalton, Marc Newman was in there as well.
Right.
Larry, I failed to mention this as well. Larry Hardenbrook
had a great run.
He was just outside of that top 5.
Oh, he was there all night. Didn't do anything wrong. It was great.
And Tim Elam had a great run all night.
Tim Elam was just being careful.
Yeah. Right?
He had a great
he
run.
was tiptoeing and just breaking in the new car.
Yeah, and I felt bad because Willie and Willie's spotter cleared him. Or didn't clear him. Didn't tell him somebody was there. And Willie came down and got into the nose of the 88 car, Tim Elam, and they both caused a yellow. And I felt terrible they had to go to the back because those guys were going to finish top 3, 4.
Yeah, no, all of them are having great runs.
Yeah. And Jonathan Gomez told me on the racetrack during one of the reds, he goes, I'm just being real super patient here, bud. And I said, well, we're going to go 50 because there's no way I can go 75 laps. We're an hour and 15 minutes into this race, and we're lap 9, right? And because of the oil downs and things, wrecks. And he's like, okay. He goes, so I better get going. And he was the consummate Jonathan Gomez. Didn't do anything dumb. Raced his car hard.
Hard, yes.
And he took his chances when he had to, but he didn't throw a bumper on anybody unless it was checking up in front of him. And Jonathan Gomez didn't overdrive his stuff. And he told me straight in the car, he goes, they're all overdriving the track. The track's a grease ball. He goes, they're overdriving their equipment. The track, you got to race right now. And that's where I got that. I posted that on Facebook to our website. You know, I think that there was some overdrive in the racetrack last night. From lap 1 on.
Right. Oh, from pace laps on.
I think you actually mentioned to the drivers as well at some point in that race that this track is kind of junk right now. Use your heads.
Well, and
you know,
I did. I was actually out on the racetrack on lap 3 or 4 after our 3rd caution, and they were
45
driving by
minutes
me,
into the
and
race.
I was going like this with my head, pointing to it, and pointing to the track. The track's junk. Use your brains. The track's junk.
If anybody is out there watching right now,
there was 27 of them. Who was 35 of them?
Who was in the spotter stand? I think every yellow going 1 to green, point at your head, point the track. It's the only thing you can do. Everybody has the same track to drive it on.
Yeah.
And you have to take that breath. We have 75 laps. You don't got to be there right now. You will be there when it's time to be there.
And you mentioned also beginning of the year, the reason why you give them 75 laps is for guys to take their time
to get there.
Through so.
All right, here we go. You ready for the rules change?
Yo! Dun, 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 dun.
That's been my philosophy, and we're going to talk about this because I'm sure there's going to be some people going, "Well, LeBron, Jesus Christ, you know fucking rules." Here's the deal: we've always inverted 16 cars.
Yep.
Not doing that anymore.
Make it 8.
Well, I can't wait for the Donovan John series.
It's going to be the best fucking series in the world.
You start putting words in my mouth. You know I always go there. Fuck, when you spend the money and start your own shit, you can make your own rules.
I love when he says that.
Don't you guys love it?
The problem is, he knows I'm right. No, I'm kidding. What do you got?
It will be one of the pills.
Okay. Oh, we can do pill draw.
Well, let's just let Donovan announce shit from now on. Yeah.
Here we go. Go ahead. Tell me your words.
You did mention this to me last night, but go ahead and say it.
I know.
Do it.
But it was dramatic for show fodder.
You're too slow. Come on.
Well,
get on it.
Fuck it. I'll save it.
No, go ahead.
No, what we're going to do is we're going to go pill draw. The fast time car will come up and draw a pill. We're going to invert a set amount of cars. We're going to have 1 6 pill. Mm-hmm. We're going to have 2 8 pills. Okay. We're going to have 3 10 pills. Right?
All
so
right.
the odds are
8.
10.
You had a 50% chance to top 8.
50% chance you're less than 8, yes.
Yeah.
But I feel that what that's going to do, I've watched some races, especially lately, where when we do our cone starts and so forth, we've had our leaders, our winners of the race, like not last night, but the race prior at Twin Falls. Shelby Strobel won the race, and he was in the lead at lap 8.
Something like that, yeah.
Out of 16 cars. What? So they're getting there pretty fast anyway, and it'll keep people from making suicide runs to the front and tearing up our stuff. Also, I really feel that there are cars in our series that would be more comfortable racing around cars that are at their speed and not just saying, you know what, I'm just going to check up and get out the way, which we've had happen.
Not just their speed, because it's one thing to be what are the guys running, like 15-second laps? To be a 15.0 car that's a good 15.0 car, I mean, they're holding their line, and somebody's 15.0 who's driving like a bat out of hell. But being able to still be within that while the guys are turning 14.6s in the fast cars, you know, to be able to run with someone who you can run with without the fear of...
Yeah, and that's where you learn.
Yeah.
When you can learn to run side by side with a buddy that's the same speed, and you're not worried about the guys running you over, and your spotter's not freaking, and not everybody's clustering. Now, here's why I'm doing this. Because if you look at our last race, our points championship stuff's all pretty decided. It really is. It's pretty done. I think Gilligan can still get third, depending on some stuff, and there's some things there that work out. But our champion's done, and we're going to have that show coming up. We'll have him on. Our second place is, I think it's done. I think it's pretty much done. I haven't looked at the points lately, but I don't think Neil can be caught either, and I'm not going to take away points from prior. I mean, he's going to have punishment coming, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be. I'm not taking away stuff he's already earned. That's not.
No, he's earned it.
No.
Yes, and he's earned it. And he's got paid for it. It's fucking done. That book's closed. So, third place, Aubrey, Scotty, Jonathan. There's some stuff in there, and so they could make it. But I think they all have the ability to make the invert, right? So, what we're going to do is that, and we'll keep people from stroking because they won't know which pill they're going to pull. We'll pull after qualifying.
Good.
So it'll be everybody come up. If you want to do your pill draw, everybody come up and watch. It will be poker chips. Pull it out. And we'll see how it works.
Sure. We got one race for the season. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it works. And then we'll decide in our winter meeting what we're going to do. But my idea of and we're not going to be 75 laps at Meridian the next race.
Not on that
King
night.
of the Wing, we're not going to do it. It's not going to work. We're going to have too many cars and so forth. And we're planning on a big car count. So we're probably going to end up being around 50 laps, right?
Probably.
So that'll give those guys that want to rush to the front and I got to beat this guy, so I got to pass 3 wide and all this kind of stuff. We're not doing that at Meridian Speed.
No,
We're going to pull a pill. We're going to race the guys that are same speed as you. I think that'll be good.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be fantastic.
So I know that there are some of our friends that are watching right now. Please, in the comments section, post your comments. This is the time to talk about it. I'll post it here later tonight.
So we can interact with those.
Yeah.
Well,
Another observation.
Sam Newcomer called it before I announced it, of course.
Yeah.
Sam's too smart for his own good. Kick him back to California. We don't want him.
That's because he was an official with me, and he probably brought the idea up. That's probably where I got it. Because Sam's pretty damn smart.
What's pretty cool about that is, whether it's 6, 8, or 10, I think was what we said, that's going to get the leaders to lap traffic a little bit quicker. That can make it interesting as well.
But it'll be thinned out lap traffic.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just saying lap traffic can make it exciting as well.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to watch. So.
And, we gotta grow up eventually.
Yeah.
And we got to start we got to be a place where guys want to come run. And, we have an opportunity next year to really grow the series. A friend of mine told me that today, and he's right. We have an opportunity to really grow the series. Jonathan Gomez even told me that. He says, next year you're going to have a lot of cars. You better think about stuff like that. And I have been. It's not somebody's changed my opinion or anything like that. We got to look at the health of the series and what we're going to do. So last night on the way home, I seriously thought about eliminating spotters.
Oh, I really like that job.
I think the spotters piss off our drivers and get them more fired up.
I think they do as well.
Yeah, and the spotter stand is going to be something we're working on.
In which, to the couple of guys out there who I did yell profusely at, I apologize. I was not angry. I just like yelling a lot.
Well, there you go.
And there it is.
There it is.
We forgive you.
Thanks.
Our series has morphed into a deal where Spotters think they have a say. Spotters don't have a say.
Spotters on a really big track are handy.
Yeah, but they don't have a say.
Right.
That's a one-way communication from the spotter up to them guys.
And
then
race control can
the
do
spotter
that.
doesn't even know they're talking when they say anything, and we're going to work on that. And it's morphed into that. My fault over the last 6 years, and I'm real close to. I'm thinking about doing it. We'll make race control, or we'll go strictly like Lucas Oil Series does, where you have race control in your ear, and the spotter does. Spotter's listening to race control. If we have an issue like we had last night, cars not wanting to go to the back and stuff like that, they're all getting black flagged. I have to. I'm going to start running this rather than being everybody's friend. We're going to run it more as a tight ship and more professional.
No.
If they don't like it, I'm sorry, and I got to do it.
And I don't, I know you're friends with a lot of the drivers. I don't think it's very fair for the drivers to expect that since you're friends with them to get individual treatment like that.
I don't know.
So.
I've let it happen. They haven't
Yeah.
expected it. I think I've let it happen, and I've accommodated. I don't think it's them. It's a me thing. And I like you probably understood last night. And I know you know. I'm not afraid to call myself the problem. Even though I can be an egotistical prick, I'm also a good self-evaluator. Right? You have to be doing what I do for a living.
Oh, yeah.
And so being a good self-evaluator is how you learn, right? And if you ever stop learning, that's the day you die.
Or you might as well just die at that
Fuck yeah.
point.
So this thing to get better and make it the best asphalt touring series in the Western United States is my goal. We're going to have to evolve and adapt and learn from our mistakes. Because if you do the same thing over and over again, that's the definition of insanity. So we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to have some more fun with our friends. We're going to try to keep some more cars healthy without getting them all tore up.
Man, I think the people in the purple shirts got to be the dicks. Got to be the hard line. And
I got to be the biggest dick.
you better work really hard on that because
Yeah, I know. So we're going to be a little bit more hardball. After the races, we're going to have a beer, and we're going to have some fun with our friends.
heck yeah.
No,
But
we're gonna hug it out.
I mean, little things like we arrived a little late yesterday to do some of the things that I wanted to do. I can't do that anymore. We got to be there ready to go. We got to show up planned out. We got to do a little bit better on tech. We got to do a lot of bit, no more just, techs, we're going to do this and this tonight. No, we're going to tech everything. Every time they come. We're going to tighten up the screws.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen. If not, this isn't going to be fun for me anymore. Somebody else is going to have to do it. Because last night, as you know,
Right.
was not fun for me. I was thinking about who can I give this to have them run it because I don't give two shits anymore. And when I start, it's always this time of year. The promoter starts feeling that way. So I'm used to
summer.
it by now. Yes, and when you have
you have to
people
deal with the
screaming at
bullshit.
you, all the things I got screamed at last night, because they didn't understand the rule, or they didn't understand why we did what we did, and they ain't going to listen because they're all emotional at the time. And I think most of that was done by the spotter stand. Not saying the spotter himself, but radio communication.
And I don't want to say this. If any of you guys think that this is easy, try it out someday.
Yeah,
Right.
come on,
Okay.
bring it on.
Jesus.
Try it out someday.
Yeah,
All right.
you know what I go through.
Oh, hell yeah.
And you do too, of course. But DJ's more recent than you, no offense. But
I've been replaced.
this is no, you've been added to.
No.
But this ain't easy.
No.
And
Anybody that has your type of job, whether it's Adam or
Adam's
or,
amazing.
I always told Adam, I don't want your job.
Right?
What the heck?
How he can deal with all of us?
Jesus.
Oh, my God. I mean, we have, on a nightly basis, 15, 18 drivers.
Yeah.
Adam deals with 100.
Quite frankly, I don't want Mulder's job either.
Right.
But
My wife wants you to take the series over. She evidently didn't like something you said. Or something.
She like something I said? A lot of people didn't like what I said in the tower last night.
But she agrees no spotters because she helps out with the spotter stand. She
Yeah.
sees the abuse going on, and she also knows how hard we work. And when somebody's motherfucking the series, that really hurts my wife.
Yeah. In all honesty, while I love being in that spotter stand and I love being that part of the communication process, unneeded. In today's technology world, with computer controlled transponders and with someone able to tell who needs to be where, when, why, and how, they don't need anybody else out there. It's a quarter-mile track, half-mile, 3/8-mile track. If you can't hear the guy behind you trying to make a move on you, then
No, the spotters, that's the thing. Our drivers are starting to rely on spotters too much. And not themselves. We need more sportsmanship.
When you take a big chunk
We
of
didn't have a lot of
finance out.
sportsmanship last time.
No.
But I mean, look at also what you save in ticket fee to get in. You can eliminate a position. You don't have to have expensive radios.
Nice lockdown. You mean on the team?
Yeah, for teams, for the drivers and the crews.
Yeah.
You've eliminated a position that's not necessarily needed, and it's going to be a family member who may or may not be good at what they do, and they don't need to be good at what they do because what you don't want is somebody who's bad at what they do talking to you.
Well, for now, I'm leaving the spotters in, but they're on a string.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a safety thing, I think, when done right. But I think we're going to have spotter school. No more drivers' meetings without spotters there. That isn't going to fly.
Should we have a spotters meeting? Oh,
Well, I do it at the drivers'
meeting?
meetings. The driver hears, the spotter hears, everybody hears the same fucking
Okay.
thing. I don't want the spotter hearing something the driver didn't hear. Makes sense?
Right.
Or I don't want something lost in the interpretation.
True that.
Yeah.
So actually, it's in our rules. The spotters must be in the drivers' meeting.
Well, there you go.
So we do our drivers' meeting prior to practice. The reason that I do that is so I can tell them how practice is going to go, but also look them in the eyes and find out who their spotter is. So doing it at 2:30. Oh, my spotter's on the way from Timbuk 4, and
I heard that a few times.
we had like
yesterday.
3 or 4 people. So 23rd, spotter's got to be there for qualifying, or got to be there for the pit meeting.
Yeah.
The 22nd.
22nd.
That's the way it is. If your
Or-
spotter can't be there by then, you're gonna have to get a different spotter, and that spotter's gonna be logged on. That's the spotter for the whole night.
So you can't swap them out later?
Tech approval.
it's
Because
tech
if,
approval.
if I get somebody like a Casey Tillman that's done it
shows up,
forever,
yeah.
shows up and says, "Hey, I can do it for this guy. Could you okay with that, Todd? That Dono? That
Right.
Yeah, that'll work."
Right. You don't want
or-
Uncle Bill who showed up.
Yeah, let's say Holly Strobel has something going on until 4 o'clock. She shows up. She's spotted more than anybody I've ever met. Right? She's going to be Shelby's spotter.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean that. So you can't say no.
Yeah,
it's not,"
pending tech approval. You don't want to switch from Uncle Bill to Uncle Sue. Uncle Sue. Salt Lake guys.
Yeah. So we have quite a people commenting here. Sim spotters are fancy rearview mirrors. Scott,
and shitty rearview mirrors at that.
yeah. Scott Gilligan, why do you think I stopped being an official? I went back to driving.
You weren't asked to come back, Thunder Penis.
He calls that to everybody.
I'm just kidding. I love
says
Scotty.
that to
You're so smart.
Yeah. Zach Telford.
That's actually James.
Zach?
That's
Yeah,
James. That's
That's
James.
James. Yeah, I was going to say, good call. Need race control, spotters, and inverts, in my honest opinion. And Neil Latham, I disagree with no spotters. I do, however, agree with race control in spotters' ears.
Yeah, the Lucas Oil Series does that. And the reason that we haven't done that is simply because we didn't have a radio guy at the racetrack. But they can always stick a receiver in one ear and listen
Right.
with their headsets. So
Right.
we'll probably go with something like that. That's next year, though.
My favorite part of the job.
You'll still be standing there, Thunder Penis.
Okay, all right.
I'll
I just
let
got
you
a
stand in the
whiteboard.
spotters area and go, I'm the spotter guy. We'll let you do that.
Look
okay?
at me go.
Yeah,
I'd rather have you helping me out somewhere else, but if you want spotters, that's where you go.
So there you have it.
So that's
let's- let's-
that's my news. We're gonna invert some cars, 6, 8, or 10.
I love the random part of it. 'Cause-
Well, that's the only way to do it.
Right.
You say the same number. Somebody, I'm trying really hard to qualify 15-0 because I know that's going to be 6th.
right.
Looking at the practice sheets and shit. And just, somebody can't say.
Say it on your lap time.
Yep.
Do what you got to do.
I think it'll actually be a more competitive race. And what we're seeing now is if we have a yellow like lap 4 and the cone, we see an opportunity for a whole bunch of mayhem. Because we just noticed this guy's a half second off the pace from everybody else, and he's in the top, so we're all going to the bottom except this guy. He's going to the top, but he's going to go 3 wide past this guy because he's Mr. Cool, right? We had a 3 wide inside last night.
Oh my god!
know?
You should. Oh yeah. Never mind. I about had an aneurysm.
I did. That's what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm all screwed
I
up.
had a miniature meltdown standing there. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you
Right.
fucking serious?
In front of the whole pack, I know. And I love Kip. And Kip's like, he probably shouldn't have done that. I'm like, we move on. But there's only so much blood. You put the helmet on, it cuts off the circulation.
It's a chin strap, not a neck strap, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
So this ain't easy.
No.
When you think about this, you have to have the right mentality to do this, and you have to have some background knowledge and so forth.
Really?
You have to have some.
Fuck.
And all kidding aside,
screwed.
I've done this my whole life. I mean, no shit. I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit. People don't like it. We made a call last night. I got to talk about it. Neil's listening tonight, so I'll talk about it. The 21 car put the 66 in the fence. We weren't going yellow. We weren't going yellow. We're going to stay green, stay green. That's what we were saying. Stay green, stay green. In the melee that happened behind it, cars spun out. We had to throw the yellow flag because cars were stopped on the racetrack. So that stopped cars on the racetrack caused the yellow flag. Of course, it was due to the contact that happened between the 66 and the 21. But they were limping. 66 was limping towards the pits. 21 was continuing on his way. So what do? Why did we go yellow? Those are the cars that have to go back. The cars that were stopped on the racetrack. I did put the 21 to the back as a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So the 21 did go to the back, and he was pissed. They lost their shit. I had to tell him, because you stuffed the 66 in the fence. I'm putting you to the back because I don't think you belong up there right now. You're hitting cars. And he goes, well, I said, okay. You started dead last. We also made a rule that if you don't practice, at least practice and run some heat races and stuff. You're not going to run in my main. And the driver in question got told that last night. With a long talk. I think you were nearby when I was talking. One of you were nearby, TJ maybe, but was nearby
Probably,
when I was talking about it with him. We sat him in the trailer and talked about it. And that was their intent, but it's always been their intent. So, little things like that we're going to tighten up. The ship's got to get tighter, or the ship ain't going to float.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go camping and fishing. Somebody else can have the mess. If this stuff that happened last night continues on. So we're not going to... I don't want to do that, neither. I don't think anybody really wants me to do that. Even though they may have been mad last night, but... Okay.
Yep. So.
Yep.
A lot went out today. That was actually pretty touching. So I apologize for me rambling tonight.
No, there was lots to talk about from last night. So, looking ahead really quick, we do have racing at Meridian this Saturday night. Wayne Pepsi Sprint Cars, Modifieds have double main events. Of course, Superstocks, Pro 4s, Tuners, and Hornets.
And Meridian Speedway.
The Meridian Speedway. Magic Valley.
Magic Valley Speedway.
Something's going on.
Yeah, let's talk about Magic Valley
The
Speedway.
gruesome threesome will be back down there. The Three Musketeers doing our thing.
That's going to be good.
All for one and one for
Talk
all.
about it. We don't know if anybody knows what we're talking about. I interrupted you, so you probably got to tell them what's happening.
The Bud Light 150.
Budweiser.
Budweiser.
Bud Light or Budweiser?
Bud Light, that's what I thought. But let me.
There's a beer involved 150.
Just a super.
And
late.
unfortunately,
Super
we're
Late's
not going to be able to drink it until after the races.
Yeah, it just says Super Late's 150, but Super Stock Street
Unless we
Stocks.
quit.
Yeah, it's their big Super Late Model race.
Okay.
Yep.
Their annual big Super Late Model race.
Already had 20 pre-entries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the crew here, the Royal Purple Modified officiants, were invited to take over Magic Valley Speedway for the day
Yeah.
and run the show.
Well, run that part. I don't think we're running the show. We're running
the race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Using our officiating professionalism during their big show.
Yep. After last night, I'm wondering why, but
Yeah.
we'll be down there. The three of us,
TJ?
and I'm probably going to pick up another person. I probably need somebody else to help me out with that show. Somebody knows late models a little bit and something. I was kind of hoping Newcomer would be back. I don't know if they're coming back.
What about
He's gonna
DC?
be probably in Vegas. I haven't heard back from him, so we're going to call that a no.
JJ?
I don't know what you're talking about, but let's not do that on the air.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
But we'll find someone that helps us out. I'd love to find somebody who knows a little bit more about late models.
Hey, late model drivers. Anybody want to do something fun next week?
And Eric Reed is going to run Lynn Hardy's 4-car.
Really?
Yeah, that's freaking great. Our buddies will be there, so that's cool.
I'm still am going to file an official protest. The fat boy ice cream guy cannot be skinny.
That's true.
It can't be. I mean, that guy's a stick figure.
Eric?
Yeah.
Eric's got some muscles under there.
Yeah, he's... I mean, come on.
Well, not like us. I mean, we're beautiful muscle guys.
I know.
Well, this is a long show tonight, guys. We're approaching 2 hours.
Yeah,
I don't care.
really quick, I did get some results for Black Canyon
Oh,
finally here.
yay.
Box stock Saturday night, Chance Odell, 250s, Ashton Christiani, Eric Miller in the Micro 600s, and Caitlin Lev in the Open 500s Saturday night. So thank you to Andrea Bailey, who's the statistician there at Black Canyon. She just texted me all those results, so thank you, Andrea, for all that. So we give give Black Canyon some love there. I'll be announcing with Nate the 150 as well. Him and I will tag team.
Nice.
That'll be fun.
I'll be in the spotter stand yelling at Ashley.
Have fun with that.
Right? She kept trying to do my job.
Oh, Ashley, come on. You know better than that.
When her cars were, this is the thing. I love Ashley, but when her cars were no longer on the racetrack, why was she in your spotter stand?
She's just easy to look at.
Moving on. Next. She's like married, so who cares? Next. I mean, that's part of the spotter issue. We got to get the people out there that aren't there anymore. And we got to work on that stuff. That's things we'll work on.
We had a lot of new spotters I wasn't familiar with as well. Are you going to push the button?
Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Oh, that's all I got.
New spotter stand?
No, we had some new spotters I wasn't familiar with up in there. So we're going to get the second half of the show, or the last part of the show here, banned.
That's it.
Yeah.
Here it is. So this is where we're going to go quiet in the future shows. You'll like my Jacob ride.
I want to thank you all for paying attention to us tonight, letting us vent to you. For all 35 of you that tuned on tonight, I'm Todd Labronte. This is DJ Everett over here. And this man here is the Bearded Wonder, Donovan Johns. Love you guys. Love you guys too. Thanks for letting this old fat guy vent. And we'll see you next Sunday. Before that, we'll see you at the races.
All right. Be good, everybody.
See you then.